Have you ever heard about the evil King Kamsa and his ruthless reign? Well, let's dive into this fascinating tale. Long ago, the kingdom of Mathura fell under the iron fist of the malevolent King Kamsa. His rule was marked by tyranny and fear, but there was one person he adored: his sister, Devaki. However, tranquility in their relationship was shattered by a prophecy that foretold Devaki's 8th child would be the end of Kamsa. Fearful of his impending doom, Kamsa imprisoned Devaki and her husband Vasudeva in a dungeon. His paranoia ran so deep that he ordered the execution of their children right after birth. However, destiny had other plans. The 8th child, Krishna, was born, and by a divine intervention he was whisked away from the clutches of Kamsa. And so it was that Krishna, the 8th child of Devaki and Vasudeva, was born and rescued from Kamsa's clutches. In his desperate quest to eliminate the threat to his life, Kamsa enlisted the help of the terrifying demoness Putana. Living in a cave deep within the forest, Putana was a fearsome figure, with long, unkempt hair, curling nails, and teeth protruding from her mouth. Her tongue was as red as blood, and she towered as tall as a full-grown camel. When Kamsa told her of his predicament, Putana, ruthless as she was, gladly accepted the task. She began her reign of terror, ruthlessly killing infants not only in Kamsa's kingdom, but in neighboring kingdoms as well. She would enter homes discreetly, seizing babies while their mothers were preoccupied or asleep. The people of these kingdoms were shattered, their hearts breaking as they lost their young ones. But then, hearing of a divine child in a nearby village, Putana set her sights on her next target, Krishna. Disguising herself as a beautiful maiden, Putana entered Krishna's village with a deadly plan. With her magical powers, she transformed her grim visage into a vision of beauty, a stark contrast to the terror she was about to unleash. Word of a child with a divine aura had reached her ears. Intrigued and certain, Putana knew this must be the child destined to kill King Kamsa. She decided to act swiftly, to nip this threat in the bud. Her plan was as wicked as her heart. She poisoned her breasts with the deadly venom of the most lethal snake, intending to feed it to the infant Krishna. The unsuspecting villagers, taken in by her beauty and grace, led her straight to the house of Yashoda and Nandrai, where the divine child lay. But as she approached the cradle where Krishna lay, she felt a strange sense of dread, for this was no ordinary child, but a divine being capable of thwarting her deadly plan.
A beautiful maiden entered the village, her eyes set on a particular house, the home of Yashoda and her son Krishna. This was no ordinary maiden, but Putana, a demoness in disguise, seeking to feed Krishna under a pretense. Yashoda, enchanted by her charm, unknowingly agreed. With a deceptive smile, Putana lifts Krishna into her arms, her deadly intentions hidden. As Putana feeds Krishna in the backyard, she expects him to become lifeless within minutes. Yet, she feels a sudden, terrifying jolt. It's as if the small baby in her arms is sucking the very life out of her. She panics and tries to pull away, but Krishna's grip is ironclad. He holds on with an unyielding grasp that belies his tender age. In a desperate attempt to free herself, Putana reverts to her true monstrous form and takes to the sky. Yet to her dismay, Krishna remains unfazed. Despite her efforts, Putana's strength wanes as Krishna continues to drain her life. Her attempts to break free are futile, and in her desperation, she reveals her true form. But Krishna remains unyielding. He continues to hold her, and with a final gasp, Putana falls lifeless to the ground. The sight is horrifying. The villagers are terrified, and Yashoda's heart pounds with fear for her son's safety. As the villagers approach the lifeless body of Putana, they find Krishna unharmed and playing happily. The villagers stand in awe, realizing that Krishna is not an ordinary child. A wave of understanding washes over them, their eyes wide with the revelation. This boy, this Krishna, he's celestial, perhaps even a god. Their hearts pound with the thrill of it. This child of theirs is divine. As they gaze upon him, they feel a palpable shift, a stirring of anticipation. What miracles might this child bring forth? Unbeknownst to them, their lives were about to become entwined with the divine, and the adventures of Krishna were only just beginning.